We've already talked a little bit about what you should weigh and how you can determine what that weight should be. Just to recap really quickly, definitely healthy is first and foremost. If you're not quite sure what is going to get your health completely at the optimal state that it should be for you personally, definitely go check with your doctor. And from there forward, it's mostly about where you're comfortable, what you're happy with, what you're comfortable with, where you feel the most just upbeat, motivated, and can, move in all the ways that you want to move and look the way you want to look, feel how you want to feel, and so on. So I already talked about this a little when we discussed that, but there are some other units of measurement that are very important to keep an eye on while you're losing, especially if you're doing any particular types of exercise, if your movement is very high and you might be gaining muscle at the same time. Because when you are losing weight and you're shifting your body and you're changing your body on a regular basis, the scale fluctuates in a variety of different ways. And I definitely recommend that you check out the course 7 Reasons That the Scale Isn't Moving and What to Do About It, because that is where I outline all of those things in vivid detail. But until then, just for now, remember that there are other things that you should be checking beyond just the scale in order to know whether or not you're losing weight. Also, these are things that you may have heard me mention when we talked about how to keep yourself motivated, because these are other units of measurement that identify when you've shifted your body as it's losing. It doesn't just, straight lose fat in a simple, overall every single area of your body all at the exact same time way. It shifts. It, sometimes some fat areas are reduced more than others. So first things first, it's very important in order to be able to measure these specific improvements to take notes at the very beginning when you are starting to lose, before you've made some progress, or just right at this very minute, even if you've already made some progress. Right at this very minute, I want you to pay attention to your clothes. That is one unit of measurement beyond the scale. Now that might seem kind of obvious, but literally I want you to go to your closet and pick an outfit. Pick something that is currently a bit too tight for you so that you can try it on and take actual notes. Okay, so the arms are a little tight here, the stomach fits like this, maybe it's a little too stretched out here over the hips, maybe you can't button the button or zip the zipper, whatever it might be. Think about it, write it down. If you have your planner and you have, the notes section in the back where we keep track of our log, go ahead and use that if that's where you're tracking. If not, write it down somewhere so that you can keep it in mind and you remember exactly how that outfit felt. Next, make sure you try on that outfit every couple of weeks, even if the scale has not moved. Again, if you are eating healthier, perhaps you traded out some fat for some muscle, especially again, if you're moving a lot and you might have gained some muscle. Keep in mind, as we've talked about, muscle takes up a smaller unit of measurement. It's a smaller amount of space. So therefore, if you are at a specific weight and you have far more fat, you will be overall poofier. You will take up more volume. If you are at that exact same weight, but you are made up of far more muscle, you will seem more trim, more toned, and you will have your clothes fitting a little differently. So definitely go check out some things in your closet that you are excited to get into. Maybe even hang them right on your closet door so that you can see them, and it's that extra motivator. Next, this actually surprised me, and I know some other people as well, and you might have noticed as if you've gained a significant amount over the past few years or whatever it might be, your jewelry actually is something that can start to be a little tight as well. Your rings, your watches, your bracelets, anything like that can definitely get tighter as your body continues to swell, because remember, you liberally get fat everywhere, all over your body, your arms, your hands, your neck, your ankles, your feet. All these places that we don't necessarily think of weight gain do actually put on some weight. Your body distributes it all over. So it's not just your stomach, your thighs, your butt. It's going to be a little bit everywhere. So if you currently have a piece of jewelry that is a little bit tight, keep an eye on it. Make sure you notice it. Jot down exactly which ring that you're checking on, exactly which necklace, which bracelet, which ones are currently fitting a little too tight or not totally comfortable. Set it on your nightstand, find a specific place to keep it so that it's in sight. And again, that can become a motivator, something that you try on a little bit more regularly. Now, do keep in mind when it comes to rings, you could also have a day where you are retaining a lot of water and your fingers are just poofy. It doesn't mean you've gained weight, but that is one place that could fluctuate for sure a little bit more than others. Next, this is probably something that you already have in mind that has possibly gotten you really frustrated, or maybe even been the motivator that got you started on your weight loss journey in the first place. And that is pictures. Pictures, as we all know, speak 1,000 words. And have you ever just been tagged in a picture on Facebook, for example, from a friend of yours, and you see it and you're just like, ugh, like the first thing you want to do is untag yourself. You don't want anyone to see it. You're completely uncomfortable with what you're looking at. You know that just does not look like the you that you know and the you that you feel like you are on the inside. So pictures can definitely be a way to motivate yourself. And remember too, there are times, even though we nonstop talk about positivity and how you need to make sure to motivate yourself in a healthy, positive way, and that positive reinforcement and nurturing yourself and cheering yourself on and putting that mental carrot right in front of you to constantly pull you along is the best way to go. That doesn't mean that we sometimes need a little bit of, push, a little bit of bad cop maybe to help inspire us. Sometimes we do need that tough love. There are days where we all are just, our inner child is yelling a lot louder than it normally does. Maybe it's because you've had a bad week, or you're really frustrated with somebody or something, or you just can't seem to carve out time for yourself to do the things you want to do. Whatever it might be that is adding additional layers to getting yourself over that hump that week. It's okay sometimes to pull out, that shoulder devil just as much as we want to get the voice of the shoulder angel a little louder. We don't want to completely lose that shoulder devil. So, pictures, one, can be motivating if you have ones that are maybe from the past at a time when you were comfortable with your weight, or vice versa, ones that you see that you just are like, you know what, that's it. That's the last time I want to see myself look like that. I'm moving forward. Maybe you want to keep those pictures in your binder. Maybe you want to slide them right there in the front so they're easy to see, or maybe you want to tuck them in the inside so just you can open and see when you're ready. If you are comfortable with it, maybe you just want to put them right on the fridge. Maybe that's where you want to have them for now, so that every time you go to walk into the kitchen to grab yourself a snack, you see those pictures. And maybe that's where you put the motivating one, the one that is from when you were happy with your body. You don't want to discourage yourself, especially right when you're in a moment of really challenging. Your blood sugar has crashed, you're tired, you're exhausted, you just don't have that willpower, and then you see the bad picture, the one that's a little bit more the tough love. That might not be the best time for that. Maybe that would push you too far to where you're like, you know what, forget it, I'm done. I just want to eat to comfort myself. That's it. But maybe that is a good place to put that picture that inspires you. The one that when you go to get a snack, you say to yourself, you know what? I don't know if I'm actually that hungry at this moment. Let me just grab some water. Let me grab something, a piece of fruit, and go take a walk, because you want to see yourself looking like that again. So next, of course, first and foremost, it's great to head to the doctor and every once in a while check out your stats. Your doctor can do a full checkup and tell you things about your cholesterol levels, your blood pressure, your triglycerides. There are all these different things that your doctor can take measurement of, and you can then use that as a key performance indicator, something that you are then going to check on again in 6 months. or again in 12 months. And remember too, scheduling that doctor visit can actually be another one of those events that helps motivate you. It's something on your calendar, the countdown has begun. It's something that you can say to yourself, okay, I just want to get past that particular milestone. So that's my next eye on the prize goalpost where I am trying to get to, and it can help feel a little more motivating to break your goal down into smaller increments, and that can be one of those small increments that you aim for. Okay, let me try to improve those stats by the time I head back to the doctor. So next, your overall how you feel. Number 5, how you feel. There are other things that you feel that are most likely encouraging you to get on this weight loss journey or to improve how you're eating, because you just are reminded every once in a while. Maybe it's when you run up a flight of stairs. Maybe your knees hurt, you feel out of breath, stuff that maybe you didn't feel in the past, or you're just tired of feeling at this point. How you feel when you wake up in the mornings. Maybe it takes a really long time to wake up. Maybe you feel like you haven't gotten enough sleep. A lot of times when we are really overweight for our bodies, it makes it so that we don't intake as much oxygen during the nighttime, and you don't sleep as deeply or as well. And maybe you wake up groggy and not fully alert, and maybe that is an indicator to you that you are ready to make a change. Think too how you feel as you go to bed. Are you absolutely just completely worn out from head to toe? Does every single muscle ache? Is your back hurting or your knees hurting? Maybe just walking around in your normal daily routine has gotten very strenuous. Maybe you feel the same way you used to when you used to do far more, and that can be an indicator to you that you are at that higher weight, and it's something, again, that you can think about, you can measure, and you can start to take a poll of to see when it's starting to improve. Next, if you're not really, noticing anything major in these areas, just actually doing some stretches, some exercises, especially new ones you haven't tried. Measure how you feel when you do some exercises. See, how many can you do before you're absolutely just spent. That is an easier measurement to notice. It's a, very quantitative thing. Okay, I can do, 5 squats before I am just done, my knees are aching, or maybe it's 3 push-ups, and now you have something to measure when that has improved. Same thing goes for just daily activities. How do you feel when you're bending down to get the laundry and drag it out and put it into the dryer? How do you feel when you're running around playing with kids? How do you feel when you are walking to the mailbox to get your mail, whatever it might be? Think about the things in your daily life that currently maybe frustrate you, or can just be something that you probably expect you're going to notice a difference in once you start losing some weight. Think about these things, write them down, write them and put them in your binder so that it's a place that you can check regularly, or if you have a journal, go ahead and write it in there, whatever it is, but make sure that you pay attention to these other things beyond the scale. Finally, your measurements. Remember, these again are very straightforward numbers that you can utilize to watch and see if you've changed. And I do definitely recommend, especially if you're planning on, increasing your exercise and your activity, and you do believe that you're going to tone your body a little bit, gain some muscle, that is definitely something that's worth checking. And you can notice when fat has switched over to muscle when you take your measurements. So it's outlined exactly where to measure in your Compass book, in your Compass planner, if you want to use that as your tool to jot down where you are every month. First, you measure your bust, that's right across your chest. Next, your waist, and that's your natural waist. That's right where it's the smallest. If you put your hands on your hips and you feel right where it indents the smallest near your belly button. Next would be your hip area. Measure right around there. Next, your thighs, and you probably do want to measure right and left, because there are times when I've seen people, especially if you say, for example, are right-handed, you will have most often more muscle on your right arm, so your right arm may be a different size. Same goes for your thighs. You might have a little bit more muscle in one leg over the other, so measure them both, see where they are. Then definitely keep recording these measurements. Every month, take measurements again. Try to make sure that you're very careful to measure in the same place each and every time with the same measuring tape, and then you will start to notice some differences here. These are all things that can help you give you reasons to celebrate even when the scale isn't moving, or also, when you do see the scale moving, that's great, but these are other things to celebrate. These are other tools that are going to help you to notice that you are changing, to really see the improvements and changes. Because remember, when it's slowly getting dark, for example, you might not notice, and then bam, all of a sudden you feel like you do see something really, oh wow, it's fully dark. Like a lot of times when things happen gradually, we don't recognize it. So these are ways that you can notice, oh wow, look at this is changing, even before it seems obvious in the mirror, on the scale, or in other big ways. So I really wish you luck. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and thanks so much for listening. We've already talked a little bit about